Good evening, YouTube and the internet. Falcon, it's playing up. Went to leave work this afternoon and just chucked it into gear, put my foot on the throttle and shot off backwards at about 60 k's an hour. Probably the quickest launch I've ever had in it. It was in reverse. I double checked, the lever was definitely in drive, so I tried to put it in park. We can go past reverse. So after a few minutes of jiggling with it, I got it into park whilst in drive, the Selector. Yelled at it for 10 minutes, tried to get under it on the side of the road, no chances, couldn't get under there. Threatened it with a box of matches and a can of petrol, and it went into drive. So I've driven it home, and I've got a sneaky suspicion it's that shitty plastic gear selector that I've heard of before. Now also, you're on my phone and not on my camera, because I can't find my camera either. It's been a while since I filmed, but I thought it was where I put it last. Anyway, let's get under and have a look. So, up under here, I believe this, well, I know this is the selector unit here, and this is the cable that runs all the way up here. And what I was really hoping to see was this broken. It's currently in neutral. That should be reverse. And that's jamming. Let me see what I do with the selector. Alrighty, I've manually done this. Doesn't sound too bad from up here. So, let's flick through the gears. See, that's in neutral, that's in drive. This is what it did before, and now it's still stuck in reverse. It's in park. Alright, now let me have a look at the selector. Alrighty, where are we? Up here. Is it this bit? That sounds good now. That sounded good. Let me do this. No, that's the opposite. What I wanted. So that should be park. One. Neutral. Drive. And that's it. So drive. Well, I don't know actually, there might be the sporty mode or whatever you want to call it, the Tiptronic. I wonder if the problem's at the other end. It goes very easily now. So that was park, now reverse, neutral, drive. And I'm not sure how the sports mode thing works. It's got me stumped. It says it's in first gear. You know what's happened? It's disconnected here. This end. It's now completely free. So, problems in here, not down there. Well, since right now it's 20 to 8, I'm going to leave this where it is. I might upload it as a teaser for how to fix it, but yeah, I definitely think it's the selector, like in the car end, not the bottom end, which was what I thought it would have been, because that seems to be where they go. So of course mine goes in the not normal way. Of course it did. Alright, I'll catch you later, and got to organise a car for tomorrow so I can get to work. Good afternoon, YouTube and the internet. It's been a couple of weeks since I last looked at the Falcon, the transmission. I can't remember exactly what I filmed on the phone, So just quickly, gonna look under here. It's currently in park. Here's the selector on the gearbox, and I can move this freely. That is telling me the linkage is disconnected at the upper end. Now, because I've got it in park, I'm going to leave it all the way forward, because that should be the nearest alignment to where it should be. What's wrong with the linkage upstairs? I don't know. But to get at that, I've got to pull lots of interior out, I think. Now, I have seen and heard that getting this out can involve up to pulling the seats out, but I reckon it can't be that hard. This just pulls straight out, I believe. Yeah, that's all one thing. Boom. Hey, look, money and car filth. That's where my life savings is gone. Not in the 32. It's all in here. Okay. That's yuck. I might as well clean all this out while I'm here. This then pries off. Looks like it does. Pretty easy. 4 bolts. Got a screw here in that. Let's undo these. Let's not undo all the other shit that, from what I've seen, everyone else does. So these are 9mm, and in just sizing, I discovered that one's loose. Oh, the others aren't. I was wondering if maybe someone had been in here before, but they just might have worked its way loose in 20 years, I suppose. So let's get these 4 out. Build quality is just awful. Okay, so we've got a screw here, and I think one up the front. So far so good. Even if this is insufficient, I've got access to other screws here. Where'd that screw go? Right down there. Okay, now, and although that's not connected to anything apparently, one at the front here of the shifter. All the screws are unique so far. So that just pulls off. Now, why does everyone say, let's just get rid of that, you have to pull so much out of here? This looks like it should, with a bit of jiggery poker, be able to be made free. Let's give ourselves a bit of room with these two. Again, all screws still unique for its location, so I don't need to worry about storing them anywhere special or trying to remember. Okay, move that out of the way. Move that out of the way. Oh, look, they just fall off. Can I go left, right, up, down, pull that back, gets the flap out of the way. Okay, it either needs to go forward or back. And I guess this is where pulling all the shit out comes in, because I think this whole section is one piece. Oh wait, we've got a screw here. Corresponding one here. What does that buy me if I undo those? This is all one piece, isn't it? So screw, 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 screw. So there's 4, 5 screws on either side, just sort of holding the front of this plastic piece on top of the bit I want to remove. Anything else holding that in? It's unlikely. Can I see the linkage cable? That's it right there. But I can't see its connection to anything. Okay. I guess we're pulling some of this out. Let's see, that piece separates from that piece. Does it? No, that's a single piece. Run through there. I think there's some screws under here. Under the carpet that's glued down. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. What I'm going to do is I'll just start at the front and work my way back undoing these. Let's see what movement it gives me. I'm going to take a photo of that with my phone so I know which screws go where now. I'm getting repeats. So it definitely gives me a bit of vertical lifting space off that, and I just realised I can pull this out. So this obviously got a cigarette lighter in, it's got a plug. Pop that out and set it to the side. It's just press on, there's no pins or clips or anything. So gives me a bit of height. Ow, a bit of height. This is my old joint snapping. So let's just work further back on this glove box. Let's do these 4 here. So I'm doing these 4 here have seemed to free up basically from here, and I did have this under here when I had 2 hands, all the way back to here where it seems to clip in behind something. So I'm going to undo these 2, see if the back comes off and gives me access behind here. Lovely, so undoing those allows me to move that back. I don't think I need to undo anything else. That just slips away, beautiful. So we've got 2 screws here, which obviously attaches this to this. I'm hoping that this can free from this and just, it doesn't have to come all the way out, it's just got to come up far enough to be able to get these tabs out from under here. That's the logic I'm using. Whether it's any good or not is yet to be seen. Okay, so that's free of that by the look of it. Should be free of that. Any more screws there? No. So let's just pry. Now, this screws under the carpet. Is that the thing that's going to stop me? Does feel like it's firm here, so that's annoying because this carpet's glued in. Oh no, maybe not. No, it's just got little tabs in it. So I've got screw, 2 screws and a couple of clips of some sort way down that hole. Screw, clip. Upon further observation and taking some photos down there, I don't think there are screws in those holes. I think it's just these clips. Which both appear to push the same way. That one's spring loaded, that one seems to have stayed over. So what I'm going to do is pull that and try and lift that at the same time, which will require 2 hands. So bear with me, I'll give you a demonstration after. That was pretty successful. I jammed my trim tool under there, held a bit of pressure on it, 1 hand, screwdriver in there, flat it, and click. And this has indeed freed up completely from these side pieces, except for here. Also the front doesn't seem to be entirely free either. It seems to be attached to this thin moulded plastic, which I'm not sure what its purpose in life is, just to make it difficult to pull the car apart. Thanks Ford, you did it again. I think it's vents. I think that runs to here. But that's much freer than before. Very free in the middle, but still not enough to have a crack at this and get that off, because that's got to come all the way over that. Yeah, I don't need the handbrake on. We're on flat ground. That does come up a bit. I'm going to have a bit of jiggery poker at this, see if I can pull this out without going any further. I don't think so, but it'll save me a lot of time if I can. Just to demonstrate the pain I go through for you guys on videos like this. Here's my ratchet. I took the extension bar off it so I could try and get it in there. I couldn't quite fit it with the seat in this position, so I went to move it forward, and I literally did that. I heard a tink, and my 8mm socket is gone. Now obviously I looked under the seat around here, I heard the tink, so I thought it must be on the concrete. Obviously it's going to be a pain in the ass to find over there. Look under the car, it's ended up over here. How on earth has that ended up here from there? tangles, defying the laws of physics. Anyway, move the seat into that position, I reckon I can get it. And I think this is the step where most people pull seats out. And I just feel like probably not necessary. I know you can't see shit. I'll still piddle in with the seat position. Let's lay it down. Just get the upright bit out of the way. I'm assuming it's the same size as the ones I got out of there. I may be assuming incorrectly. No, that's working. It's going to be a bit tight, but especially once that bolt backs out. Yeah, just keep playing with the seat position until you get it to work. That's somewhere under the seat. Trying to do the other side. Seriously forward. Actual roofing screw this time. Also found some jewellery. Don't know whose that is. Let's see, has that achieved the goal? Okay, that's all coming up together. I wish it wouldn't. I don't want that duct to come. Oh, these clips may have reset. Oh no, the clips aren't even engaged. Alright, so now what's stopping this from coming up? There's something there. Okay, the whole thing comes. As long as that does. And this is where you pull it really hard, break it, and then smash it with your hammer. Honestly, would a split here be hard to do in a plastic mould? It can be easily produced right now with some brute force. Again, I'm going to play, see if I can get height. I was able to get a decent amount of height before without that pulled out, but it seemed to be stuck in this corner. But we'll see. I'll have a play. So, best I can see, at the front here, everything's free except for this little plastic tab that runs under here. I can feel it goes basically to there, and there's obviously nothing on this side. There was a rubber mat there and I pulled that off thinking maybe there was a hole. But yeah, this is somehow connected to that. I don't know how. Probably similar to how it was at the back here. This broke because I was reefing on it. It's got a screw in it. So how the fuck are you supposed to get underneath there to undo a screw? Anyway, I replicated that on the other side, broke it, and I seem to have got the desired result. Got lots of room now. Just to figure out how to get that. I just need two hands basically. So I got to put you down, but basically I'm going to lift this up, get that out. Alright, almost got it out. Lift the back up really high, pull the handbrake on, got it to the point where I could just jiggle that out the rear, and now if I change gears, should have room to slide this back, or lift it and slide it back, or whatever it's stuck on. There's like a guide pin or something, is there? Yeah, down in there. That's stupid. Anyway, I'll get it. Just give me a minute. Again, off camera, no hands. Alrighty, plan B. Since I can't get that dowel, like effectively this, out of that hole over there for whatever reason, no matter what angle I use and no matter how much space I give it, I did get it free. Well, I got that free. Now for the wrong side of the car again. Why won't that come out? Yes, I'm starting to get angry. So that's still going to be that little silver piece of shit. That's one of these. How the hell are you supposed to squeeze that when you can't get at it? obviously this, like, it's got a slit down the side. There is a bit of a lip on both sides, so you know, when the screw's in there, it holds it open, stops it coming out. That's fine, but there's nothing to push it in, and it will not free up on this side. Yeah, I can see it clearly when I've got two hands in there and lifting it. Alright, back to that side of the car. So the source of all my heartache at the moment is this thing here, which is obviously sticking in somewhere. Oh, did I just get it? I just got it. Alright, squeeze it from the side somehow, just like that. Anyway, that's that piece. Separating the white piece achieved nothing for me. That cover, I don't even need that piece. All I need to see is the linkage. So what I'm going to do is lay these upside down in their order, in their configuration, right? So I don't do something stupid. Now this, I know it's got a wire on it, but I don't think I even need to undo that, because there's my linkage. Now I also know that the ECU currently thinks it's in, or did think it was in first. So can I keep pushing this forward? It's got to go under that. Can I get my hand in? Yeah. So it obviously thought it was over here. So I wonder what happens if I pop that back on the end there, and that's it. What's the bet that's fixed? And what's to stop it from happening again? That's literally it. That's all that's happened. And keys, park, reverse, neutral, drive, sporty mode, second, first, second. I'd switch them back to first because it's not moving, right? So back into drive, neutral, reverse, park. See that now? That sounds really hard. So is that what's caused it to come off? And is that then a symptom of something at the other end, which is what one of the common faults? Now this, I think this thing here lines up with this here to tell it when it's in whatever gear to light something up. I'm not sure. How does one know what gear they're in? Did I lose a piece of this that had the letters and numbers? Shit. All I did was that. Is that easier with the shifter in and pulling the trigger? Hang on. Let me find that. So I've just stuck that on. It's locked now. Is it loaded? There's no load on it now. Handbrake's off. Well, it's got me fucked. Also, don't know how I tell what gear I'm in through this panel because I've got no identifiers. It's obviously fallen off. Wait. No, it's a cherry rot wrapper. Something's fallen. There we go. That piece there. Obviously, take us to that. I hate this car. I appear to have fixed the immediate problem. Oh yeah, I see how that works. However, have I fixed the actual issue, which seems to be a very stiff release from park? and I should be able to do everything from down below the car, so I guess I'm jacking it up again and investigating that. Right, now linkage is connected at both ends. Why would they go forward from there? So park's all the way back. The reverse, so how does it reverse? Because park pulls the cable that way, yep, alright, fair enough. So park, what makes it stiff? Reverse. Okay, maybe not, I went too many. So park, reverse, neutral. No. Park, reverse, neutral. No, it's just jumping 2 gears, isn't it? Because that's taking a lot of force. See that was 2 gears, because that's reverse, neutral, drive, neutral, reverse, park. So why is that so fucking hard? Why is it so stiff? Does the cable need replacing? Can't see why. I mean, it only loops around there and up there, and that's through the bulkhead and into the shifter. Does it need some lube? What's the driver of it being hard? Is it in the gearbox? So I could test that by disconnecting. Turn you up, alright. Disconnect that and pull the cable through and see if there's any load, and if there's no load on just the cable, then the resistance is coming from the box, which is devastating, potentially, or just this little mechanism here. I'm assuming that shaft runs straight through there into the box to do actual selection, and this just does electronic stuff, right? It just picks up positions. That's what I'm guessing. So the ECU knows some stuff about the gearbox. Honestly, it feels like it's in the gearbox. Sounds clunky in the box too. Just listen to that sound, which was the sound I heard the other night, a couple weeks ago when I first got under here. Like that. It sounds loud. But it's only going into park. And park is just like a, I could probably check for drawings, but yeah, exploded drawings, but I believe it's just a pin, or yes, a pin with lots of potential holes for it to lock into. But sounds, just sounds wrong. I'm going to undo the cable. I'm going to undo this, have a look. So, good news and bad news. That loud noise is on the cable. Yeah, okay, so it's a new cable. I reckon the cable must be damaged, kinked, and potentially that's happened when it popped off in the car and I was jamming it in and out of gear. Also, to me, 2 nylock nuts on that don't seem right, as far as I think someone's been in here before. But that's pretty badly worn. I know these let go. In fact, there's another nut under there. I think this has been modified. This being a common failure, the thing that sits here. So there's a nylock nut under there, which is there's a recess back here, which is housing that, which I think is a mod, and 2 nylock nuts on top so it doesn't come off, and this washer does seem awfully big for that position, although I like the idea of it because it's like creates like a big guide angular wise for this thing, right? So it can't cock sideways or whatever. So I don't mind that. But does it need a new cable? And if so, how big a pain in the ass is that? Bracket here, through the firewall, into the car. I've got you spinned around and upside down all the frigging time when I'm down here. It's hard to remember which way you're facing. I reckon it's a new cable. Yeah, like I said, if I pull this off and it feels a bit brittle and whatever, that bit of plastic, I'll probably be able to see if they modded this one. If a new one turns up and it's different. You hear? That sound is not in the box, right? It's inside the car. Wait. How come it went that far? Is it park? Park. Reverse. I'm trying to do this real gentle. Neutral. No, that's as far forward as that goes now. So let's drive, neutral, reverse, park. Oh wait, I wasn't playing in the right space. That's not that hard. That doesn't feel that hard either, to be honest. It feels a little bit hard. It definitely feels harder. Yeah, shit. Yeah, the resistance is in the box. It feels like grinding metal. Like, if I had to describe it, which apparently I do, I would say it feels like a pin with a spring in it going into a hole, and the spring is shattered and binding on the pin. It's based on sound and feel. Which means there's something wrong with the box. So what's happened is that basically has jammed in park of sorts, right? And then the force required to pull it out has popped it off inside the car as it's gone into reverse, and that's why I lost gears. And then I got very lucky. It must have just, you know, the thing must have just caught on it and got me into a gear to get me home. And then when I got home and started playing with it, it fell off again in whatever gear it was in at the time. Okay, stiff selector, maybe it's just this. I guess that's possible. I need to look at what this is and the internals of the box to determine what the problem is likely to be. So for now, I am done. I have diagnosed. It's not the cable, it's not the selector. It is something in the box. What's in the box? In the box. What's in the box today? It might be a case where it's not worth fixing on this old girl, and it's you know, retirement age for it, which is a shame, because, and I only say that because pulling the box is a fucking big job that I don't have the time to commit to right now. We've got too many other things, but I'll look at it, right, and I'll see, and check the forums and stuff. So unfortunately today is not, I mean, what I did is I fixed the selector at the top end, right? So that's what this video is. If I over tighten that, that's gonna bind and make things harder, yeah, like that, right? So this is why I don't think that's factory. That's too tight, and if that's been too tight over many years, it just could have worn stuff, you know what I mean? So it may have just been seeing a little too much force for its whole life. And
cumulatively, or ever since this has happened, ever since they've done whatever they did here, which is a common fault, this cable having issues at this end at this connector, so it's highly likely that it's happened. That their repair, whilst it's lasted 100,000 Ks, so certainly not a bad or dodgy repair, has been causing wear on something else. Potentially. But for now, it's too hard to say till I bury myself into the manual. Hopefully there's an exploded box of the park engagement, and all the forums have got some information about it. And maybe, potentially, the reason why everyone gets this failure here is there's a common or typical fault in there. Like, the park's a bit of a shit thing. But yeah, that's definitely too hard to turn, and again, maybe it's here, maybe it's pin, whatever I need, I don't want to start pulling the shit apart without having any idea about what might be the problem. So I'm not going to. I'm going to pack it up for the day. I've got other shit to do, like edit this video into something that's coherent. Maybe. So yeah, that's how you fix the linkage on the interior of the car while breaking one piece of trim wire. It's like that. I don't know how you would get to that without breaking those. I'm not quite sure. A little bit more time and effort, take it a bit slower, don't get angry like I did. You could probably get that done using pretty much those steps without breaking something. But having broken it, I think there's plenty of screws and pins and clips and whatever to hold that in. I don't think it's going to rattle or make a noise or ever be a problem, so I'm not too worried. But yeah, how to get to it and how to then put that cable back on. Why it fell off, obviously, this is why no one else has had this problem and why there's no videos on how to fix that. I've not seen a single forum post or anything on that end of the linkage, the cable coming off. It's all about the bottom end, which is why I was so surprised a couple of weeks ago when I first looked at it, and it all seemed to be fine. So yeah, I fixed that, and instead of just putting it back together, you know, what caused it? Will it happen again? What caused it? Not sure. Will it happen again? Probably, based on how hard that was to get on or off. If I get a new cable, maybe that little clip thing is a bit better, and it might last longer, but without getting to the root cause, it's a high probability of repeat failure due to some other stiffness in going into park physically in the box, in and out of park into the box. So that's time to park it. It's 4 o'clock, I haven't had lunch, haven't mowed the lawn. Oh. I'll take the keys. You bastard. Get my research on, but that's it for today. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year everyone. It is the 7th of January now. I didn't do my annual Christmas update because I was busy. Actually, I wasn't all that busy. I wasn't motivated, which is why I didn't fix the car between Christmas and New Year's, because it happened the week before Christmas, which I was busy during the week before Christmas. I was working all the way up to Friday, and then obviously had Christmas and that over the weekend, family and things like that. And then finally, wasn't motivated to do anything basically between Christmas and New Year's. But New Year started, getting stuck into some stuff, getting it done. I'm rambling again. See you later. And hopefully I'll have a solution on that. Oh, one other thing, this car, there's other things wrong with this car. It has a horrible cold misfire. It goes away pretty much entirely when it's hot. I've done diagnostics. I've put a OBD2 reader on it. There's no codes. I've gone through the logic of what it could or should be, and I cannot for the life of me figure it out. I've got a lot more detail as to what is wrong than what I've just rattled off there. None of the typical reasons make any sense. Like O2 reader, okay, if it's O2 sensor, well, if it's missing cold, it doesn't read the O2 sensor until it's at 80 degrees, so it shouldn't be an issue. The mist does continue when it's hot, it's just nowhere near as pronounced and much harder to trigger. So it's transient through that stage. Fuel, pressure, pump, lines, none of them are related to temperature. Coils usually get worse when they get hot, not better. Leads, unrelated to temperature. Plugs, the same, you know. So there's more detail going through it than that I'll just rattle off, but that's a quick example of what I've looked at and how or why they might cause a problem and why they shouldn't be the cause of that particular problem. I don't know what it is. Anyway, that's another day, but that's also why it might just be time to retire it, because I have looked again at the forums for that misfire. There have been people chasing that for similar sounding things for 10 years, like, you know, and even like with Ford for 5 years, and Ford can't even figure it out. Ultimately, the only thing that makes sense is the ECU. Something wrong with the ECU, which is probably worth more than the car. So at that point, it's a write-off in my mind. But we'll see. I'll make sure it's going in case I do need to just get rid of it, i.e. with the gearbox, and then go from there. Anyway, I'll see you probably in 6 months, because that seems to be my upload schedule these days. But I can't wait that long because I've got a loaner, got a mate's car, so I need to get this fixed in the next 2 weeks, or get that on the road so I've got something to drive to work. So that might be a thing too. Anyway, I'll see you later.